Okay. Uh, a little bit of a scuffed beginning there, but yeah, just trying to take care of too many things at once. So apologies for that. But hey, we're here. We are. We're started up again. Welcome back to another 1 p.m. PST YouTube stream. I'm your host, Strange Bro Jim, and today we're going to be getting back into some more Pega certification studies. We got some Unreal later on. Well, probably in about 30 minutes. Unfortunately, I'm starting to actually. So in about 30 minutes, we're going to be doing the Unreal. And then we got some video uploads to handle, or making some videos public. And then later on tonight, we got Warframe to uh, play a little bit. And joined by Blackheart as well. Um, So let's go ahead and try to get into talk about what who I am, what these videos are about, so on and so forth, and we will proceed from there. So, who am I? Well, I'm currently out of work, unemployed software developer whose last job was working with the Pega environment. Um, Now, my last job gave me a training cycle with multiple other new hires with an authorized training partner to try to learn Pega. However, it wasn't really all that great, and so the majority of us, if not all of us, had switched to self-study. Um, the one and only time that I actually took the certification test, I was definitely not ready for it, but they basically forced me to do it. I knew that I wasn't ready. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to pass with the amount of time that they gave me. So it's pretty clear that I was going to fail. Now, there were some observations that I noticed about it, and stuff that I'm passing on to you. Um, so hopefully you can take that and run with it when you take the certification test yourself. But bear in mind that I do not have my certification yet in the system architect. Okay. Also, point of note: I'm not an authorized training partner, and this is not meant to be an instructor-led training. If you think that this is the case, then well, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but it's not. Okay. Um, this is me just trying to work my way towards, preparing myself for the certification, itself. Um, I welcome you to join me on their journey so that you can take the certification test yourself. Um, and obviously, um, if you want to rush ahead, you know, to get your studies done quicker, then go right ahead. Believe me, there's a little bit left on my certification or my certification studies, but I mean, if you need to move forward, then obviously do so. Try to study as much as you can to get prepared for it, and take the certification studies so you can pass it, and put it on your resume so you can get a job. Okay, the reason why I haven't tried applying for any Pega jobs since then is because I don't have a certification. Most jobs would require the system architect certification to start off with. Um, so I haven't tried applying for any Pega jobs since then because I don't have one. And unless a company wants to train me with it, which I've already been trained supposedly once. Um, you know, it's just unfortunate that I didn't continue along my self-study journey to get to that certification stage. Um, I was kind of hoping for to be placed back into a training cycle with a different instructor, but they didn't do that. I was kind of hoping for more of a mentorship when they forced me into a contract. That didn't really happen. So it, you know, I can only do so much. Um, so, but this is my attempt to continue learning to get to the point of being able to um, take the certification test, pass it, get that certification, and start applying for jobs in the Pega environment again. Um, I got time on my, I got time, so it's not like um, I'm in any like major danger right at this moment in time. But I mean, I gotta be careful, you know. Um, okay, so um, let's get into the dashboard because we got ourselves a challenge uh, that we need to work on later. So we've completed the business architect. So if you're studying for the business architect, we've already completed it for the Pega platform 8.7. I know that there's 8.8 and 23 already out there, but it's we've only completed it for the 8.7. So you're just gonna have to, if you're studying for the 23 or the 8.8, which is what I would recommend, try to go for the most recent version if you can. Um, you know, make sure that you are, um, there most likely there will be changes, but there might be information there that is pretty much the same as well. So, if they've already established a style, a language to talking about the topics, then, why would they change it, right? So, um, so most likely there's probably going to be very little change, but let's face it, there might be. Okay, so you'll have to take those into consideration if you're watching these videos and they're already versions ahead. Okay, so there's not much I can really do about that. I can't see into the future. Now, um, these two modules here, they are referencing the Pega Express delivery. I don't feel like these two modules covers enough of the Pega Express delivery, so I would recommend that you study the mission of Pega Express delivery in its entirety by itself, as well as the business architect to get yourself prepared for the business architect certification. If you don't do that, well, I hope that you learn enough on these two modules to pass the 12% of the certification exam that focuses on the Pega Express. So I wish you luck on that. But we're going to continue working towards our system architect certification. So if you're joining me for that, then I welcome you on the journey. So far, we're 75% complete, and we still got a ways to go. Now, um, now we completed the displaying list data in views. Well, not yesterday, but the day before. Yesterday was Thanksgiving, so I took a day off. Um, but bear in mind that probably not going to be. Um, if you're watching these on video, it doesn't really matter. You're going to be seeing the next video anyway, right? So no worries on that. Now, I want to let you know that the displaying list data and views. Well, you know, I wanted to test, and I just came on down here and clicked the uh, completed challenge, and it marked it complete on its own, several days ago, as you can see. I'm recording this on the 24th, so it's already been 4 days, you know, since I clicked on this. So, yeah. Um, but we're actually going to go ahead and go through this Pega instance, in its entirety. step by step because obviously you don't have a video on that yet. So now, one thing to note, there is a challenge walkthrough that will go through each of the tasks. I'm not going to be using that at all, unless, of course, there's problems with the steps that will, like maybe they go from A to C, but they skip B, kind of thing. Like they don't give you a step B, and it leaves you confused. Then I might use the challenge walkthrough. But for the most part, I don't really like to do that. I want to make sure that the steps here are accurate. So now, the scenario in this case is the GoGo Road application presents a list of all available service providers in a table. The UI consultant wants you to make the following changes to the UI, present the relevant service provider information only, and configure the on-screen content to accommodate multiple screen sizes. Format the list of providers to present a non-tabular form using a layout to organize the display of a single item and then embedding the section in a repeating dynamic layout. So now we just have to wait for the instance to finish and we'll get started. Um, Now, if you have any questions, feel free to ask, okay? Because, um, if I'm going through the steps too quickly or there's something that you're not quite sure about, feel free to ask these questions, okay? Because, you know, um, it's better to know what you are, um, if there's something that you're not understanding, then make sure that you are um, comfortable with, you know, ask that question, and I will do my best to answer it as best as I can. If I can't answer it, then I will I will go to one of my past coworkers and ask them about it. Um, and then we both will get the right answer. Okay? So don't be afraid to ask those questions. So, okay, we log on in and we go through our first step here. So in the navigation pane in Dev Studio, click data types and then service provider to open the service provider data type. Okay, so we first need to make sure that it's in Dev Studio, which more often than not, it sets it up for the App Studio. So you're going to need to make sure that you switch it over. If they switch it over for you automatically, then great. But more than likely, it's not set up. So you'll need to do the work yourself to make sure that you're in the right studio to continue the work. So more often than not, whenever load in on author, it just goes to the app studio and that's it. So see, there it is, app studio. We just need to wait for everything to kind of load in first, and then we'll be able to switch on over. I could try to switch on over now, but it will most likely go through everything anyway. So if I click on this, it might not even respond until everything gets loaded in anyway. So, matter of fact, I just clicked on it just to see. But it hasn't come up yet, so there it is. See how I said it had to load in everything first? Now there you go. Okay, so we're going to go to data types and then service provider. So gotta wait for this to load in. So data types. And then service provider. To open the service provider data type, click on the Views tab. Okay, I'm gonna wait for that to load in. There you go. Okay, click Create New View to create a new view. In the upper left of the New View window, click New View to edit the new view name. So we're creating a new view. Yeah, okay. As soon as it's done loading in, and we can click on this. There you go. Create new view. In the upper left of the new view window, click new view to edit the view name. Enter providers list to rename the view. Okay. In the left pane of the window, click fields. Hover over the name field and click add to view. Okay, so we're adding name from fields. There we go. In the options list, select read only. There we go. Repeat step 7 to add address and lat long fields. So, but we're not changing the address in lat long into read only, which is interesting. So, we're doing address, and let's kind of make sure that we do it in the order that they want us to do it in. So, address in lat long afterwards. Then click Submit to close the window. In the upper right, click Save to save the providers list view. Okay, so we need to click Submit. And then we click Save. Yes, we now have the providers list view. Okay, create a responsive view. In the navigation pane of the Dev Studio, click App to open the App Explorer. In the search field, enter or select GoGo Road, Data, and then Service Provider. Okay, you know what? I think I'm just gonna go and type this in here because it already has work here. So there you go. The rules within the specific class are displayed. Click User Interface and then Section. User Interface. User Interface. Section. Okay. Right-click Section and then click Create. The Create Section form is displayed. In the label field, enter Providers List. or providers list responsive to the name the section. Okay. Right, it was to section. Right. Click section, create. Gotta wait for this to load in. Okay. Providers list responsive. In the upper right, click Create and Open to create this section. The providers list response section is displayed. In the right pane, click Change to change the template. So we do the Create and Open. Okay. And I need to click on Change here to change the template. Okay. The select a template window is displayed. In the select a template window, click Inline Wrapping. So there we go. Inline wrapping. In the right pane, click the Add icon to add a control. Okay. In the Add list, click Action and then Button to add the button control. So Action and then Button. Okay. In the right pane, hover over the button control and then click Edit this button. The sales property window is displayed. In the sales window and the sales properties window in the text field, enter select provider. Right, in the text field? Yeah, text field. Click submit to dismiss the window. Okay, so everything else is perfectly fine apparently. Just double checking what they have here versus what they have there, but it looks good. So we select submit. So there we go. In the right pane, click the add icon. So we're doing this again. Okay. In the add list, click data display embedded section. So data display embedded section. There we are. The session include model dialog box is displayed. In the session include dialog box, in the section field, enter or select providers list. Okay, so by name, let's see, providers list. There we go. Normally I typically copy this just in case, I can't find it or, it's like a subsection. So that doesn't always work, but Click Submit to dismiss the dialog box. In the upper right, click Save to save the responsive view. And then save. There we go. Add a newly created view to your application. Create a new assistance request case, and then advance to the select service service provider step. Not all locations have nearby service providers. Identify location step in the state field. Enter MA to display a list of service providers in Massachusetts. So now this should be something that you've done multiple times before. So it should be fairly obvious as to how to go about doing this by this point. If you're not quite sure what to do on this, or if you're not quite sure what's going on there, then you might need to step back, go through the previous videos that I've done so far. I'm not going to put in a suggestion for them to maybe clarify this a little bit more, because by this point in the academy, you should be fairly well established on how to actually create a new assistance request case. You know, so, you know, what I just did is, just one way of going about doing that, but it's not the only way. So, you know, you should be very, very much aware of how to go about doing that. So, you know, okay. Apparently, it didn't want to save the MA for the state. Um, all right, so there's the Massachusetts. Uh, in the developer toolbar, click Live UI. Again, this, I'd almost suggest that they might need like more of uh, a screenshot of that, because some people might not automatically or might not necessarily remember that this is the developer toolbar down here. So, you know, so this toggle live UI, you know, um, hmm, matter of fact, I think I probably should mention that a little bit. Let's see. In task 3, step 2. In task 3, step 2, it is mentioned that you have to select live UI. However, I see two problems with the statement. First problem, the dev might not know or remember what the dev toolbar is. So a screenshot of the toolbar might be wise to show. Second problem, it isn't just live UI. It is toggle live UI. So might need to correct that as well. Okay. In the assistance request case, select the service provider section. Okay. You can open the UI section rules by using the Live UI tool or from the app or Data Explorer. Live UI is best applied for sections that are actively used in the case type. In the right pane to the right of the select service provider, click the Open in Dev Studio to open the you're already in Dev Studio, so that's a little weird to say that, hey, open this in Dev Studio. I mean, you are in Dev Studio, so okay. Um, in the right pane to the right of select service provider, click Open in Dev Studio to open the session rule in Dev Studio. Why they have the Open in Dev Studio when you're in Dev Studio, I don't really know, but whatever. Um, um, Here's a problem. They're showing you selecting, saying, hey, open in Dev Studio. That's perfectly fine. This little indicator is, open in Dev Studio. The problem is that they're showing the wrong selected item there. Um, the first off, um, the screenshot isn't even including the button for the dynamic layout. And two, you're supposed to be selecting this one, not this one, according to the instructions. So, although, how am I going to actually select it if it's not even wanting to show me? Okay, I guess I'd have to select it itself, but technically, I shouldn't be even selecting this. This is the one that I need to kind of select according to their instructions here. So, but they're showing a screenshot that is also kind of messed up there because It's not including. It's not showing the button there for some reason. So, um, so I need to address that real quick. Um, in step 3, or in task 3, step 4, they ask you to select the Open in Dev Studio or select service provider. However, screenshot given isn't using the section select service provider. It is showing a subsection. Section and cell which isn't mentioned in the step itself. So I'm making the assumption that the screenshot given is incorrect, and I will proceed with the instructions given and what is not shown. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and open up that. In the section rule, click structural, then click and drag a repeating dynamic layout to the service section and provider section. Okay. What? In the section rule, click structural. Maybe they wanted to do the full section editor. Oh no, I better not do that. Okay, this is where they've definitely skipped steps on this, and it's kind of problematic right at this moment in time. God damn it. They're making me late for the Unreal. Okay. Unless they actually wanted you to click the section and cell. So let me go back here. Let me click the toggle UI again. Let me select this, and then let me go ahead and go back to this one and open up that, and let's see if that gives me some information more. It was that. Okay, so obviously their instructions are incorrect. Um, so you are going to need to add a note for 8.7 because the task 3 steps 4 and 5 are not correct. Step 4 tells you to select the wrong tells you to select the wrong section, select service provider, when in fact the screenshot, which doesn't show select service provider, is actually the right step. If you select service provider, as given in the instructions, it would take you to a section that step 5 isn't addressing. Please add a note and probably fix 8.8 and 23. Showing the mistake of the wrong instructions. Okay. Well, I'm getting to a point where I'm gonna have to switch on over to Unreal. So, I mean, I'm behind there, folks. And this is why, this was slotted for 10 minutes. And I've already been doing this for what, 20, 30 minutes so far. I don't trust their time estimates. I really don't. More often than not, it's just me waiting for it to load, for the most part. Okay, if if it was really, um, you know, uh, fast in its executions, then it might just be 10 minutes, maybe. It might not take me, 20 to 30 minutes to get through this, but it doesn't. So, so I'm probably gonna need to finish this off tomorrow. There's not much I can do about it. I have to move on to Unreal. I'm already late for it. Blackheart's waiting for me. So for those of you watching, I'm sorry. This will have to be finished in the next video. So, hope you like and subscribe and all that jazz. Check out the description for more information. I'll finish this again tomorrow, and we'll go from there afterwards. Okay. It's probably going to be a short video for the challenge, and then we'll move on to other topics after that. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. Hopefully I catch you next time. But until then, take care, have a good night, stay healthy, stay safe, and I'll catch you strangers next time. Done video.